So, Madam Chair, Senators of the committee, my name is Phyllis Lewis, and I am here to support Senate Bill 2383. This bill is for North Dakota. Bill 2383 allows children to experience what I call the orange effect. You may ask yourselves, what is the orange effect? Allow me to explain. The orange effect is children who get to have both mom and dad in their lives as close to 50-50 as possible. If we continue the trend to have red house, yellow house, children often do not get to experience. Sorry, I'm not really sure why. This is the first time I've cried over this bill. Children often do not get to experience the orange house, hence the red and yellow make orange. While these colors are beautiful in their own ways, each having an orange or an orange-like house would allow them to, when they're blended, they become something different, something brighter, and something that allows children to thrive in each environment as if they were living in one home. They will get to experience love, traditions, and they get to design memories that last a lifetime with both parents. If you are concerned abusers or people who place children in harm's way would be protected, they are not. I can assure you this bill will do the exact opposite. The provision this bill has will activate, and let me highlight the word activate, the best interest factors, if and only if there's unmistakable evidence resulting in convictions of domestic violence or other situations that would bring emotional and physical harm to children. Let's remember that just because mom and dad didn't get along, it doesn't mean that children have to suffer by not having one parent in their lives equally. I am the yellow house. I didn't grow up with a dad. And I'm 40 years old, and I stand here before you to let you know that it still hurts. I don't know his favorite color. I don't know his favorite dish. And unfortunately, when I was 13, he died. And I'll never have those answers. And this is all a result of family courts and how they operate. The current law does not allow for close to 50-50 as possible. And this has created government-sanctioned alienation. Now, I want to point out there are clear differences between child custody cases where both parents have clean records and considered good parents. And you have cases where you need something activated because one parent has caused harm to a child. Listed in Section 3, Number 2, it protects children from domestic violence. Let me give you a real example. Before filing for my divorce in 2022, there was what I call a night of terror on August 23rd of that year. My then husband held me and our 2 children against our will. I was beaten, I was choked, and I was struck with objects multiple times for roughly 2 hours. All of this was done in the presence of the children. He also threatened their lives many times that night. My now ex-husband was convicted of domestic violence. And again, I highlight that word convicted, not just against myself, but of the children. If this bill passes, situations like mine will again trigger those provisions that will protect children. In Section 3(2)D and in Section 3, Number 2E, and it will enforce what we use now, known as the best interest factors. But note, again, the word convicted. This means there was a fair review to which an overwhelming evidence from myself and the children played in his conviction. This bill would protect the children more than the current laws do. This bill follows guidelines within the Constitution of the United States of America. You ask yourself about cases of parents where these may not be relevant at first, but they may still exist. But that's why we have these other entities to help us with these things. There are things that parents have gone through, such as parental capacities, drug alcohol dependency tests, and even with some of these parents pass these with flying colors, they are still ripped from their children's lives because it's nothing but a competition, and that has to stop. Otherwise, you're going to have somebody else, 40 years old, sitting up here shaking because she wants to call her dad after this since they did the job. Now here comes a bold but true statement. Under the current laws for best interests, I could have a child with anyone in this room, and all I have to do is say I'm afraid. And it could be game over for your parenting time. All of this is in the best interest factors, where all I'm required to do is show evidence. But let's remember that evidence is not a legal standard, and it's extremely vague. And just because I am fearful for an undefined thing does not mean you deserve not to be in your child's life or have your parenting time limited. We are setting ourselves up for our children up for failure. And when there are good limits on parents, this bill is not just for parents of North Dakota, but more so for the children of North Dakota. They are what matter. They are our citizens and the future of the state, and we are responsible for protecting their rights too, as they are not able to vote. We need to preserve their rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which are protected by Senate Bill 2383. In conclusion, I'm sure many of you have driven out of state, and when you return, I wonder if you've ever noticed what the sign says. It says, "We are welcome to North Dakota, be legendary." Let us be the state that sets the standard for shared parenting. And it was also acknowledged to me that even in our courtroom where we've all walked these walls today, it still says it on the postcard where we are today, North Dakota, be legendary. I do appreciate y'all taking the time to speak with me. If you have any questions, I will answer.
Any questions for Ms. Lewis? Thank you, ma'am. Oh, Senator Lewick.
Madam Chairman and Ms. Lewis, how many states have some sort of a shared parenting law right now?
As far as I know, that we've maybe or roughly about 30. I know that Mark would be the better person to answer. Is it now 5? I thought okay. So we're working in but currently 5.
Okay. And is it 50-50?
50-50 for 5, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.